Alrighty, so we're back here at the very neglected fireplace. It's been probably 3 months since we've done anything with it, probably longer, I don't know. Last thing I did was build this hearth right here, which still isn't secured to the floor. Right now what we've been getting ready to do is add some concrete board to it. Like drywall, we're going to mud the seams of the concrete board up and then do mud all around with a faux liming wash. Let's get it.
It's been a minute. Well, actually, it's been almost a year. But in that year, life's been loud. We've been busy building nonstop our home, our shop, our business, and honestly, ourselves.
But hey, we're back, and we figured no better way to return than with a fire, so let's rekindle this channel.
Today, we're finally building the fireplace we've dreamed about since breaking ground. This will be a centerpiece for our home, and honestly, our family. So the question comes, how did we get here?
But to understand that, I have to take you back 9 months ago to when Two Brothers, One Dream, A Legacy in the Making was posted, where we promised multiple videos and honestly a series talking about everything in the house. And the first off that list of promises is a custom farmhouse fireplace.
And like any good thing that's built in this world, it starts with the rough framing that then will compound issues for the finisher, not hinting at anything. We did all the framing off camera because, let's be honest, nobody really wants to watch that. But it started the same way as anything. A couple 2x4s, 2x6s, metal studs, and voila, you have yourself a custom fireplace frame. And that brings us to the sheathing that we used for this build, concrete boards. This is likely one of the most important steps of this build. Cement board is what allows that pretty stuff to happen later on, you know, like the faux liming wash we're going to do, the mantle, the hearth, everything in between.
Well, here we are, ready to start this luscious fireplace build. Gonna put the concrete board, wait, look where the camera is. Behind the railing of our stairs that we just built. If you haven't checked that video out, check it out after this. Oh, I bet you're wondering, whose balls did I have to fondle to get my own solo movie? Well, I had to do that. I always think of Deadpool whenever I'm sitting up here. It just makes me happy. I really wish I could be out there helping him right now, but I gotta keep this fan moving. Since you're watching the video anyway, you might as well just go live. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Watching us hang the cement board might remind you of another crucial step in building a home, the drywall. Think of cement board as drywall's older brother. Heavier, dustier, and requires better screws. But as much as things change, they stay the same. You still have to stagger joints, mud, tape, and often have a sore back afterwards. But it's all worth it for the safety of the kiddos and the home.
All right, we are back with day 2 here at the fireplace build. So essentially yesterday we started putting on some of the cement board, getting a good feel for it. Today we're going to finish putting on the rest of the cement board, which leaves us with tomorrow hopefully starting the mudding on it. And then hopefully here in the next week, 2 weeks, we can start actually finishing it with the faux liming wash. If you don't know what that is, stay tuned and you'll find out soon enough. Let's get it.
Now, if you've watched any how-tos on hanging and cutting cement board, they often say how scoring it and snapping it is a better method to get cleaner cuts and easier. Now, I say bullshit. All scoring did was leave us with dull knives, broken spirits, and a 1-hour delay in everything. And another thing. If you're concerned about our lungs since it's throwing dust like a madman, we live in the Great Plains of Illinois where we got 20-mile-per-hour winds pretty much daily. No fancy dust collection or respirator, not even those cloth things we wore on our face during the dark times of 2020, just the wind.
Wow, really had to throw a PPE joke in there, did ya? But you know me, I'm all about safety and practicing safe habits. And these screws for the cement board? Yeah, they're ribbed. Well, not for pleasure. Calm down, calm down. They're ribbed so they actually bite into the cement board without stripping. Tanner's over here preaching PPE, and I'm here trying not to laugh every time I say ribbed.
Okay, so I don't know if he got it on camera or not, but Logan did an oopsie per the usual, and well, he broke it, so.
It's getting mudded. If it was you, I'd be mad.
Nothing like more mudding for me. Well, apparently, I don't know for how long, my mic's been off. So anything I've ever said, it's off the record and all that. But Logan broke a piece about 3 minutes ago, and then immediately after that I broke a piece. So we're even. We can't complain to each other, but we do have screwing points. We're just gonna mud it, because mud fixes everything.
Alrighty, so we're getting to a point where we're gonna beefing this up a little bit. It's gonna have a solid concrete top basically placed on it that we're gonna build later in this video. So essentially I'm just gonna run a backer strut here, and then everywhere where there's a stud I'll just run cross supports. That'd be plenty strong for what it is, so let's get it.
Yoo-hoo! Howdy, it's day 3 of the fireplace build. It's time to mud, so we're pretty well gonna cram all these joints full. We don't need any tape because this is a level 5 and it's getting pretty well all mud on all surfaces. We're gonna hit screw heads, joints, and hope to God it doesn't take too long. So let's get it. Which side do you want?
Probably the left side.
Okay, that makes sense since you're a
Closer
lefty.
to the camera.
I was gonna say
More handsome.
since you're a bullshit. I was gonna say since you're a lefty.
Now when you're putting on this first coat, the biggest thing to remember is that this isn't the final look. The coat's job is to simply build a foundation to which you can either embed your tape in now or wait for a second coat after leveling. You are covering screw heads, creating a surface so that the next layer can bond to it. A lot of people get frustrated during this because it doesn't look clean, but it's not supposed to. This is the first coat. It's like the rough framing of everything. And that's the struggle with a lot of DIYers or just people doing it for the first time. We all want it to look perfect right out of the gate, but mudding isn't a one and done step. Cement board especially, it's not smooth like drywall, so you're filling in a lot of texture, and it's completely normal to see ridges, small gaps, uneven spots at this stage. As well as with this project having a faux liming wash, a lot of those imperfections slowly disappear once the wash goes on.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point and probably one of the best statements that's been made in this video this far. I think most people often forget that content creators have the ability to skip or skim past certain parts of the video, making things seem seamless, but in reality, it really is a struggle. We're DIYers ourselves here, and though we have a lot of knowledge, thanks to YouTube, sometimes we have to take a step back, take a minute, and remember, this is our first time doing a task as well.
Alrighty, let's sit down. Hopefully I'm in frame still. So it is day 3 of mudding. Not day 3 of the entire fireplace, just of mudding. Logan's off driving the boo-boo bus. I'm all alone. I have to do corners, and I have to fiber tape everything, because after a much needed talk with Garrett, who has a fireplace fairly similar, you need to fiber tape everything since it's a constant space of heat, which then turns to expansion and cracking, or inspan. So I'm not gonna really I'm not gonna do a thick coat by any means, but I'm gonna hopefully have enough to where the tape will stick and everything goes swimmingly. I'm gonna start kind of working on everything that's leading to a corner. So by the time I get at least all the verticals, or just give it time for it to dry to where I can work the corner bead. And maybe hit certain screw holes if they look at me funny.
Like I was saying, this is a constant spot of heat and then cooling. And with heat and then cooling, you have expansion and then contraction, which then causes cracking. We do not want that, so to mitigate that is why we're putting this fiber tape on. And I know I said no tape earlier in the video, but hindsight is 20/20.
Not too shabby for a woodworker.
Tanner buddy, you are correct. That is not too bad for a woodworker. But this channel is about working in general. Though yes, we did technically get our start with woodworking. We used to watch different channels for hours on end until one day we decided to take a jump and create our own channel to create KinCraft and our own brand around two brothers having fun and working. But let's be honest, you have to take what you learned from the past and apply it in these videos going forward. And with that, I really don't like sanding. And I know you can hire a Craig for this, but I don't know anyone named Craig. So Tanner buddy, sand away.
Scared me, dude. I'm in the zone. Are you cutting in?
I guess I don't really have much other choice, do I?
Yeah, no, I was not going to cut in. That'll work.
Priming cement board isn't glamorous, but on a fireplace build it matters more than a lot of people realize. Before you get to see the texture, the lime wash, and the dim lit glowing fire, you have to do all the unexciting stuff before. Cement board is basically a sponge. If you try putting finish directly onto it, it pulls all the moisture out of your mud and paint and leaves you with patchy, uneven mess. Once that fire is glowing, it really will show off every obvious flaw that you can't see now.
Ready? Yes, it's like WWE, buddy. And I'm meaning it. Son of a bitch! Ah! If I had a nickel for every time I had a roller that didn't roll, I'd have 2 nickels. That's not a lot, but just odd that it happened twice. Okay, throw it back. The first one was way better. We didn't get it on camera. Ready? Like that. No, like this. No. Yeah. Cinematic. See? For the people. Only took us 26 seconds. Lift, my side under, your side back, my side on, your side on.
Say that again, because I wasn't listening to a damn word you had to say.
She primed. Optimus primed. Is that a good line? Bad, good, ugly? Your face is saying bad?
Yeah, we'll let them decide.
I bet you thought I was going to do the talking head.
He never does the talking head. I do the talking head. I'm the boss. He's the 24.5% boss, but I'm 31%. Tentatively speaking, here we are finishing this bad boy. We have our mud, paint, a little bit of water mixture concocted up over there. It kind of looks like the consistency of like a Wendy's chocolate Frosty. I mean, it's very tempting right now. I think I know what I'm doing after this, but it's kind of what it looks like. That's consistent with we went with. So now onto the main process, the main attraction here. We're gonna roll it on, just like we did the primer. Roll it on, let it kind of sit, do its thing, dry up a little bit. Then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna cross hatch that with a 6, 8, 10, 12, whatever size putty knife I desire. We're gonna decide that on the fly. After that, everything's gonna kind of tack up, so we're gonna hopefully get all this done in 30 minutes to an hour. We're gonna let it all kind of dry up. Before it's fully dry though, we're gonna come back with a grout sponge and we're gonna sponge over all those kind of high spots, those spots that look a little iffy, blend them in, make it look beautiful, and tentatively speaking, 1 coat, probably 2, maybe 3, we don't know. That's the plan. Follow along. Moment of truth.
Yeah.
Alrighty, after weeks of building, framing, sheathing, mudding, taping, and priming, this is the moment we've been working toward. The first time this fireplace actually starts to look like the finished piece that we've had in our heads. Up to now, everything has been structural, necessary but not exactly exciting to look at. Cement board, joint tape, primer. Those are the quiet steps, the ones nobody brags about, but they're the steps that let the finish actually work. Now, we finally get to start creating the look, the mood, the vibe this whole thing was designed around. For our faux liming wash, we kept it relatively simple. We grabbed 2 Sherwin-Williams colors, natural linen and accessible beige, both in a flat sheen. No shine, no gloss. We want that soft, diffused, almost stone-like look and feel. And then we mixed those with roughly 50-50 drywall mud. Just enough to thicken the paint so it behaves more like a washable plaster than a regular wall paint. Once it was mixed, we loaded up our rollers and put on the first coat. And honestly, this part is just about coverage. Get it on the surface, let the texture of the cement board disappear, and don't overthink it. The magic doesn't happen until it tacks up. When the mix started to dry, just enough to grab, say 30 minutes or so, that's when we hit it with our putty knife, cross-hatching X patterns, dragging it slightly so it creates those subtle highs and lows. This is the part where you can really shape the fireplace, control the movement, the direction, the character. If you go too smooth, it looks like paint. If you go too rough, it looks unfinished. But somewhere in the middle, that is where it starts to look like stone. And once we were happy with the movement, we grabbed a damp grout sponge and softened everything. The sponge kind of melts the texture back together, blends the strokes, and brings out that cloudy, limed wash finish. Not too uniform, not too random, just enough variation to look intentional, like something that aged naturally over time. This is the part of the build where the fireplace shifts from a construction project to a centerpiece. It's easy to forget how much work happened before this moment, but standing here now, watching the finish come to life, it all feels worth it. We finally get to see the color, the texture, the warmth, and all things that matter when there's an actual fire burning in it. And after a year of being gone from this channel, there's something fitting about that. We're building this home, this shop, this fireplace, and in the process, kind of rebuilding our momentum too. This finish is just the beginning of the transformation.
Oh, Tanner, I dropped it.
Damn, I'm good. I pray it got that on camera, and I don't know if it did. Logan, I touched the wall. Great. Katie, I love ya.
Tanner?
Yep, I dropped it. Dude.
So here's the thing about these kind of finishes. They never go the way you planned them in your head. Yes, Logan said, first coat, 30 minutes, maybe an hour tops. And here we are, 1 hour in, and we're not even halfway. Hence why I'm behind the wheel using the trowel to make the cross-hatching patterns, while Logan is up top using the sponge to smooth everything out. Now, we could rush it, slap on thick layers of mud, and call it good, but this is a focal point within Logan's home. It's where stockings will be hung, kids will warm up, and laughs will be had. So this isn't the place to just cut corners. It's funny, you do all this prep work, you prime, you mix your colors, and you think you're ready to fly, and then the project humbles you. But that's the kind of rhythm of building anything. Everything takes longer than we expect, but it always turns out better because of it.
Ooh, you are lucky I caught myself.
Why?
Guess which bucket it was about to go in?
You've been working
The
out.
wrong blue bucket.
The second coat is where you start to actually see the surface change. The color evens out, the texture levels, and the whole fireplace starts picking up that soft, clouded look. And depending on the room, lighting, and style you're going for, sometimes a third coat makes sense too. And then a fourth, and then a fifth, and then a sixth. Not too heavy, just a thin, final pass to tie everything together, each layer making a tone a little richer and a transition a little smoother.
I feel like that was a complete jab at the optimism that I showed earlier, thinking that maybe, just maybe, we could get this accomplished in one coat. And I mean, honestly, that optimism wasn't a waste. It's what got us moving in the first place. Every project starts with that little voice in your head saying, yeah, this won't be too bad, or one coat should do it, we'll be done before lunch. And even though it's never that true, that optimism is kind of the fuel that gets you started in the first place. It's the thing that lights a fire under your ass before an actual fireplace does. And since I'm sounding so optimistic here, I kind of feel optimistic that karma might bite Tanner in the ass for that jab earlier.
Go ahead and get that out of there. Can I get a glove?
No.
I'm not getting it without a glove.
Sadly, we are back again. So we did the faux liming wash with the mud wash, I guess you would say. So essentially, we put it on, we wiped it all off, and I think I maybe went a little too aggressive with the whole smearing and the wiping. The good thing is I got the exact texture that I wanted. This is the exact texture that I wanted. Kind of that rough, smooth, stony look. The problem is it doesn't have the depth that I wanted. So now we're gonna do the cross-hatching pattern with 2 different tones paint. They're both gonna be flat. I believe we chose Sherwin-Williams Accessible Beige and Sherwin-Williams Natural Linen. They were like 2 tones off of each other, and so then we'll cross-hatch it, and ideally, hopefully that still keeps our nice texture that we're looking for, but also brings in that depth of color that we want. So let's get it, hopefully for the last time.
It sure is a dripping son of a bitch.
This whole build's been about fire in a quiet way. Not the dramatic kind, just the kind that brings people together. The kind that makes a room feel warmer, even before it's lit. This fireplace wasn't built to impress anyone. It was built to be a part of the season, part of the background while people slow down, sit together, and enjoy the time that they don't get enough of. If you're in the middle of a project right now, or even staring at something that's taken way longer than you ever thought it would, just know, that's part of it. You don't just see the progress all at once, but it's there. So whether you're watching this next to a real fire, a fake one, or just the glow of Christmas lights, we hope this video gave you something to enjoy, maybe even a little bit of motivation to start or finish something of your own. So from our shop to your home, thank you for being here, and Merry Christmas. We'll see you guys in the next one.
See?
I told you I knew what we were going to do after this was done.
Such a good idea.
Eat Frosties and watch Christmas movies.